in me.
Also, you rich?
Richer than I was working for
I'm
you.
the only reason.
That's a Z.
Why?
Papa's fucked up about it. He was like a second father.
Nuck killed Rob. Nuck killed Pastor Zeke. And now, the evidence is sitting right in Kenya's hands. And it's only a matter of time before Tiff hears all of it. Y'all, the walls are closing in so fast on this man. And I don't think he even sees it coming. Meanwhile, Bari is out here making decision after bad decision. Reg is about to do something cold-blooded for a quick payday, and Jake is finally fed up. Episode 5 is titled The Dead of Winter. And trust me, that title is not playing around. Because the temperature is dropping in the south side, and not just outside. It's dropping in every single relationship, every friendship, every alliance on this show. So buckle up because we are getting into all of it right now. Let's just take a second to appreciate where we are in this season, because season 8 of The Chi has been building and building and building, and episode 5, The Dead of Winter, feels like the moment where all that pressure finally starts to crack things open. We are at the halfway point of this final season, y'all. The final season. And the writers are not letting us breathe for even 1 second. Every storyline is heating up at the same time, and I genuinely don't know which one is going to explode first. But that's what makes this so good. That's what makes this so incredibly hard to stop watching. So let's go through everything piece by piece, because there is a lot happening here and every single part of it matters. Let's start with Nuck, because honestly, where else do you start? This man has been living on borrowed time for a while now, and episode 5 is where that borrowed time starts running out in a very real way. Think about everything Nuck has done. He killed Rob. He killed Pastor Zeke. He has been walking around the south side like he's untouchable, like he's the king of everything, and for a long time it kind of worked. People were scared of him. People respected him, or at least pretended to. But secrets in this show never stay buried. They never do. And now, not 1 but 2 of his murders are about to catch up with him all at once. Here is the thing about the Rob situation that makes it so devastating. Rob was not just some random person. Rob was someone Tiff loved. Rob was someone Tiff grieved. She has been carrying that loss around with her this entire season, and she chose Nuck of all people while doing it. She chose the man who pulled the trigger. She just didn't know it yet. And that right there is what makes this storyline so painful to watch, because Tiff is not a stupid woman. She's sharp, she's emotional, she's real. And once she finds out what Nuck actually did, it's not just going to be heartbreak. It's going to be something much more dangerous than that. Because here's what's happening heading into episode 5. Kenya has a voice message. Not just a rumor, not just a feeling, not just people whispering in the streets. A voice message from Zay, her father, where he literally warned her that if anything ever happened to him, Nuck was the one responsible. That recording is everything. That recording is the kind of thing that changes the entire game. And Lene knows about what Nuck did too. She's known for a while. So now you've got Kenya with the evidence and Lene with the knowledge, and in episode 5, the two of them are going to figure out how to use all of that to get the truth to Tiff. And once Tiff hears that recording, y'all, it is over. It is completely over for Nuck. For Victor and Tiff together for so long, and I really think this is how we get there, but it's going to come through something really painful first. Now let's talk about the Pastor Zeke side of this, because it's just as important and honestly doesn't get talked about enough. Nuck had Pastor Zeke killed because he couldn't risk Zeke talking to the police. He couldn't afford for him to flip. So he got rid of him. Cold, calculated, no remorse. And Tiff already had her suspicions about Zeke's death going into this episode. The rumors had been circulating. But there's a difference between a rumor and proof, and Kenya has proof. Or at least she has a voice message that points directly at Nuck. So now Tiff isn't just dealing with 1 murder. She's dealing with 2. And both of these men were people connected to her world, to her community, to everything she thought she was building with Nuck. The betrayal when she finally puts it all together is going to be something else. Something that this show has been building toward all season long, and I think episode 5 is where that fuse finally gets lit. On top of all of that, Nuck is also losing ground on the streets. Rege's crew is growing. He already pulled 2 of Nuck's people away from him. The threat is coming from every direction. And Nuck is so focused on trying to control the situation that he doesn't even realize how exposed he actually is. He confronted Bari at Tiff's party in episode 4, and that was such a mistake. Because Bari, in front of everyone, threatened to tell Tiff what Nuck had done. Right out in the open. Tiff saw all of that. She saw the tension. She saw the look on Nuck's face. She felt it. And now she can't unsee it. Everything is starting to click for her. And episode 5 is where it all comes together. Alright, now let's get into Bari because this boy is really testing my patience, and I say that with love. I genuinely want good things for Bari. He has been through so much. Lost so many people. Came so close to getting out of the streets. He stopped working for Nuck. He started working at Smokey's. Shawnita straight up told him that getting out of the streets is not as easy as people think, and she was absolutely right because look what happened. He couldn't make it work financially. Minimum wage wasn't covering his car payment, wasn't giving him his own space, wasn't enough to build anything real on. And then Reg slid in with an offer that Bari couldn't resist. A 60-40 split on selling pills, and Bari took it. He told himself it was a one-time thing. He actually believed that, I think. But we've seen this before. One job turns into another job. One favor turns into a whole lifestyle. And now Bari is hanging out at Reg's place, kicking it with the crew, fitting right back into the same pattern he tried so hard to escape. Just with a different boss this time. And that's the thing about Reg that makes him so much more dangerous than Nuck in a way. Nuck, for all his faults, actually cares about Bari. He would never admit it. He doesn't know how to show it without being controlling and aggressive and possessive about it. But somewhere underneath all of that, there is a real investment in Bari's future. Reg doesn't have that. Reg sees Bari as a tool. He sees potential in Bari the same way a person sees potential in a weapon. He doesn't care what happens to Bari as long as Bari is useful to him first. And in episode 5 we're going to see exactly what that looks like, because the synopsis tells us that Reg is about to make a cold-hearted move for a quick payday. And if Bari is in Reg's orbit right now, that move might put Bari directly in harm's way. Think about Rafi for a second because this is something that's been sitting in the back of my mind since episode 4. Bari beat the hell out of Rafi. And Reg just sat there and watched and enjoyed it, which is all you need to know about how Reg operates. He liked it. He thought it was entertaining. But Rafi is not just going to forget that. Getting beat down like that in front of everyone, that is exactly the kind of thing that festers. That's the kind of thing people hold on to. And at some point, Rafi is going to want revenge, and Bari is walking around thinking he's solid because he proved himself in that fight, but what he actually did was make himself a target. Bari is not safe. He has not been safe for a while. And if something goes wrong for him while he and Lene are not speaking, while they're on bad terms, that is going to haunt her forever. She's going to carry that. I don't even want to think about it too long because it stresses me out. But here's what I'm hoping for in episode 5. The synopsis says Bari reaches out to Lene to try to soften her cold shoulder. And look, Lene has every right to be done with his shenanigans. She has been patient. She has been supportive. She has warned him. Everyone around Bari has warned him. His sister Brittany came back to Chicago specifically to try to get him to leave with her, to get a whole fresh start somewhere new, and Bari turned that down too. Because Chicago is all he knows. And I get that. I understand it. But understanding it doesn't make it any less painful to watch him keep choosing the streets over the people who actually love him. What I think is going to happen in episode 5 is that Bari is going to reach out to Lene, but Lene is not going to just let him back in this time. She's been down this road too many times. She needs to see something real change. Not just words. Not just promises. Actual change. And the problem is, Bari can't give her that right now because he's deeper in with Reg than ever. So even if his heart is in the right place with Lene, his actions are still pointing in the wrong direction. And until those two things line up, Lene is right to keep her distance. It's painful, but she's right. And the whole time they're apart, I'm going to be holding my breath because I just know something bad is coming for Bari, and I want Lene to be there when it does. I want her to be the reason he gets back up. Not a reason she has to live with regret. Now, can we please take a moment and talk about something that actually makes me happy on this show? Because amid all this darkness, amid all this chaos and violence and manipulation and secrets, we have Emmett and Kesha. And honestly, this couple is the heart of the chi they always have been. These two have been through everything you can imagine. They started out as this messy, complicated situation, and season by season they just kept growing. They kept choosing each other even when it was hard. Even when it made no logical sense. Even when every single outside force was trying to pull them apart. And here in season 8, for the first time in a long time, they are completely on the same page. They are talking about their future. They are thinking about proposing to each other. And the fact that in this final season we're going to get a wedding, I cannot tell you how much I need that. In episode 5, the two of them are going to make a bold parenting decision together, and that decision is going to bring them even closer as a couple. I love this so much because it's not just about romance. It's about them becoming a real team, a real family unit. Emmett has spent so much of this show running from responsibility, making bad choices, letting people down. And Kesha has spent so much of it being strong when she didn't have to be, carrying more than her share, keeping herself together for everyone around her. But now they're doing it together. They're not just in love. They're building something. And in a season that is this heavy, this dark, this loaded with grief and violence and betrayal, Emmett and Kesha are the reminder that something beautiful is still possible on the South Side. They keep the balance, y'all. They genuinely keep the balance on this show. And I love them so much for that. Let's talk about Jake now, because Jake's arc this season has been one of the more quietly powerful ones, and I think episode 5 is where it really starts to pay off. For most of this season, Jake has been in this incredibly awkward position. Victor, his brother, the person he looks up to more than anyone in this world, was locked up. And when Victor was gone, the only family Jake had left was Rege. And Rege is Jake's brother too, but Rege is also a disaster. Rege came back into everyone's lives like a wrecking ball. He's manipulative, he's reckless, he treats people like pieces on a chessboard. And Jake has been watching all of it happen right in front of him. But Jake didn't really push back at first. Part of it was relief that Rege was even alive. When Victor came back, Jake was just so grateful to have his brother home that he wasn't ready to rock the boat. He was happy. He was relieved. He let things slide. But now, watching what Rege is doing to this community, watching how Rege operates, watching him put people in danger and create chaos and care about nothing except his own bottom line, Jake has had enough. The synopsis confirms it. Jake stands up to Rege in episode 5. And this is a huge moment because Jake already pointed a gun at Rege in a previous episode. And when he did that, Victor's voice was in his head. Victor told him never to point a gun at someone unless he was actually prepared to pull the trigger. So if Jake is stepping up to Rege again in episode 5, the question isn't just whether Jake can handle Rege. The question is whether Jake is willing to go all the way if it comes to that. I don't want Jake to throw his whole future away over Rege, I really don't. He's young. He has so much ahead of him. But at the same time, Rege is not going to just pack up and leave because someone asks nicely. And both Rege and Nuck need to be gone for this community to have any peace. That's just the truth. These two men have been feeding off the South Side, taking from it, using people up, and leaving destruction behind them. And someone has to stop it. The question is who pays the price when they. I also want to take a second and talk about the bigger picture of what's happening this season with Reg's crew, because it's important. Reg is building something. He's growing. He already pulled people away from Nuck, and now he's starting to have a whole operation going. But it's not as solid as it looks from the outside. Jackie is in Reg's orbit, and she's a smart person. She's been watching how he operates. She saw what happened with Rafi. She saw how Reg handled it. Drinking to something harder. He took pills from Bari. The same pills Bari is selling for Reg. And that right there is a story that I really need the show to handle with care, because Papa spiraling is not something I'm okay with watching. Emmett is already reaching out to him about rebuilding the men's circle, and I really hope that connection takes hold before Papa goes somewhere he can't come back from. There's also the question of what Papa does with what he knows. He's been connected to so many different people and storylines this season. He knows things. He's seen things. And in a season where secrets are exploding left and right, Papa sitting on information could either save someone or put him in serious danger. I'm watching his storyline very closely because I think it's going to matter more than people realize as we get closer to the finale. Let's pull all of this together now. Because here's where things stand going into the dead of winter. Nuck is surrounded on all sides. His secrets about Rob and Pastor Zeke are about to reach Tiff through Kenya's voice message, and when they do, everything he's built with Tiff is gone. The trust is gone. The relationship is gone. And if I'm right about where this is headed, his life might be gone too. Tiff is not the kind of woman who just walks away quietly after finding out the man she loves killed 2 people connected to her. She is going to respond. And she has the skills now. That training wasn't random. That training was the show setting something up. Reg is doing what Reg always does. Pushing, taking, breaking things, using people, acting like nothing can touch him. But his own crew is starting to question him. Jake is fed up. And the two biggest threats to his operation, Nuck and Jake, are both reaching their breaking points in completely different ways. Emmett and Kesha are the one ray of light in all of this. They're building. They're thriving. They're becoming the couple and the family that this show has always wanted them to be. And I am holding on to that with everything I've got because this is the final season, and I need at least one happy ending. Episode 5, The Dead of Winter, is not going to be a gentle episode. The title alone tells you that. Dead of Winter. Cold, isolated, brutal. This is the episode where the cold sets in for real. Where characters who thought they were safe find out they're not. Where decisions that seem small come back around in a big way. This is the episode where things stop simmering and start boiling. And I for one cannot wait to see all of it play out. Because this is the final season of the Chi, and the show is not going out quietly. It is going out with everything it has. Let me know in the comments which storyline you're most nervous about heading into episode 5, and whether you think Tiff is really going to be the one to take Nuck down. I'm telling y'all, that moment is coming. It's coming faster than any of us are ready for.